How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the Via Pinstriping page. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching. So we're just going to do a pinstriping design. I have the Kafka number 1 here, which has been a favorite of mine here for a while. I did start off with the number 3, but the number 3 seemed to have a little bit too much hair. It's kind of thick, but still the number 3's a great brush. Hansen Red Alpha Enamel, which I don't know if this is actually still called Hansen Red or not, but could be bright red now. I don't know. Anyways, let's just do a design. So no rhyme, no reason. I did think I want to try to do kind of more of a pointy design, if that means anything. So let's try to make pointy stuff. Not so much round stuff, right? It's funny, I was having a hard time seeing where the panel started. I remember when I used to practice on glass that that was a big deal. I'd always crash into the panel or into the glass because glass has like sort of a inverted shadow from the depth of the glass. So you think you're gonna run into it quicker than you do, or vice versa. And I'm having that issue right now. See, normally I'd be a lot closer to it, but always mindful of not sticking my head in the shot. This panel, actually, I also got from the Alpha 6 Corporation. They have these aluminum panels. I don't know if they always have them, but they had them at the moment, so I grabbed a few. And on the other side, I'll show you, I'll have a nice design on the other side. This is just going to be more or less just to make a video. Oof, I'm having a hard time seeing it. So I'm coming straight down. I'm not quite getting to the middle. I'm giving myself, maybe a 1/4 inch in between the lines, maybe 1/8 of an inch from the center. And I'll do a little crossover here. So sometimes it's easier to go upwards when I'm doing this particular line. So I'm just going to go down and up. And I will say that is just more out of comfort. Eventually, if you're just starting out, you'll find out kind of what is more comfortable for you. Some people do them like that, but some people don't. I did want to mention again, I'm going to be doing classes here in Tampa on March 24th through 26th, 3-day classes with Robert Messenger, another pinstriper. He's currently located in Texas, and we do have spots still available. So if anybody's interested, just reach out to me via pinstriping@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me on any of the social media platforms. So far, the few people that I did get to sign up are actually all coming out of state. So it's really cool. Very excited that folks are willing to come out for something like that all the way from out of state. So I know I said I was going to do straight lines, but I kind of felt like curving out. Forgive me. Sometimes the brush does what it wants. I know a lot of people, when they see pinstriping, they wonder, oh, where do you come up with these designs? And you know, over time, you do sort of develop a style. I think a lot of style comes out of necessity when it comes to like general pinstriping when people were doing shows and stuff. I think they just develop a style so they can move forward without having to overthink it. But for me, it just kind of comes as it comes. And I don't really feel like I have a defined style quite yet. Maybe a little bit more in the scroll section because I like to do so much scroll, but definitely not with old school. It's still a little foreign to me because I really fell in love with the scrolling early on, so that kind of took over my mind a lot. And I had to learn old school secondary. And another thing somebody asked me is if I could put like a still image, so I'll slide this over and show you the straightforward image for a little while when I'm done. They asked because they follow along, and I guess if if I just turn it off afterwards, it's hard for them to grasp what all I've done. So when I'm done, I'll make sure to give you a square shot. All right, so let's see here. I think I'm gonna bring this in like that. And I would normally go like this, but the camera's in the way, so I'm actually gonna go backwards on this one. And I'm trying to be mindful of not sticking my finger in the paint. There we have it. Now we're going to elongate this by going downward. Same thing over here. These grid lines are, I have no idea the distance. I kind of just eyeballed them. So there's no real major distance on, like it's not like a 2-inch grid or nothing like that. It's just kind of thrown up quickly. And also, this is a little more curved than this, but we're just gonna move along. These are slight differences that I notice on my own, and things that you kind of gotta determine whether or not is it that much of an issue that you're gonna redo it, or is it just you overthinking it. There is some definite leadway that you can give yourself with this stuff. Let's see here. So I'm just gonna cut clear across all of this and try to connect it. These arches for me are difficult because sometimes they get lopsided and I don't mean to. I have the hardest time with them things sometimes. And this one did not come out too lopsided, so we'll keep it. Now, let's see here. Trying to think of what else I'd like to do. Feel like I am gonna have to do some semi-curved lines to kind of tie this thing in some. So, curved. Something about all straight bugs me out, so we're gonna do some sort of a pear shape, right? And it seems to be stopping at this line, so I'm going to do something else to elongate it afterwards. So it gets to about the halfway point of this square. And I'll start here. Work my way like so. Roughly the halfway point, coming back in. Ooh, I'd say a quarter of an inch. Boom. Now, I'm not going to leave those like that, but I'm going to leave them alone for a second because I'm going to elongate this some. Now I see that the camera picks it up to about right here, so that's probably where I'll stop. So let's do a diamond shape, right? So out. And out. And we'll just let this fall right into the middle. That sound is very important if you're working on a vehicle. That means that your surface is clean. All right, little diamond shape there. Now, I feel like these little doodads kind of don't connect to anything, so I think I'll find a way to sort of wrap them around with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right above. I don't know if you could tell, but like the tip of my brush has a big old wad of paint. You got to be careful with that stuff, right? That's overloaded, especially at the tip. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab that right off onto something. Matter of fact, I'll do it in front of you. Look, I'll just go like that. I wouldn't normally use a paper towel, but I'm just showing you, right? So now my tip is formed, ready to work. Whether or not it's still the correct consistency, I don't know, because I was talking the whole time. So I'm going to start right here. Let's give it a shot. And I'm just going to connect to this line right there. There's a slight bump here. You may or may not be able to see it, but I'm going to smooth that out. I kind of dug into the other line a little too quick, so it did not contrast smoothly. Ugh, I'm messing it up. All right, we'll leave it alone. The challenge is trying to do this stuff with the phone right in my face. So there's a lot of stuff that I end up doing that I would not normally do because I have a phone right there. Right, and always mindful of where the other one connected. Now, I kind of like it open-ended, but there's a rule of thumb that says you don't want open-ended lines, right? So let's see if we can come up with a creative way to connect it. So I have the option of going out and in, which would give me a little bit more. Let's try that. But let's go upward. Let's go upward with it. We got a bunch of things going downward, so let's go upward. Sometimes if you're in a rut and you feel like you're doing the same move over and over, just go the opposite way that you're instinctually wanting to go, right? If you want to go a certain way, just go the exact opposite way. See what happens. Especially if you're practicing. It's always good to sort of flex that muscle of creativity of, let's just see what happens if I go this way. Because you'll never know if you don't do it. Right. So we went up. Now I'm thinking, come back in. Let's do one of these numbers. I'm going to come back in, but not all the way. And I'm going to try to make it as sharp as I can. Right. Very close to that line, but there is a gap. We're going to do the same thing over here. Stay very close to the line. Right. We're going to come out. It's going to give us some little pointies here. Right. That. And try to consider the gap, right? So the gap's actually widening. It's not really following this same line here. It's kind of going away from it, right? So I'm going to try to consider that when I do this line. Something like that. And then I think I'll go in. Not, well, it almost touched. I didn't mean to, but it almost did. So, go in. And, well, I'm just going to connect it. I actually kind of like the way that looks. So let's just connect these. Bop. I almost did it on accident anyway, so why not run with it? Right. So, there's that. Now let's see. Do I require anything in here? I don't feel like I do. Do I require anything going up? I guess I could do another little diamond here to kind of tie in that diamond. Right? So, we'll start in the middle, go out. In the middle, go out. And then we'll just connect right in the middle. And we're going to do the same thing over here. It's a little blunt there, but it'll be all right. It didn't quite come to a point because I flicked out some. But again, it's one of them things, like, is it that big of a deal, you know? We'll eat it. Now, I feel like this is a little too open. I don't know, too much negative space maybe. So we're just going to do another V here. It kind of mimics this one, but breaks this big open space up. Some people are a fan of the negative space. They say, you know, less is more, and that's true in general, I think. I think that is true, less is more. But, you know, when it comes to practicing designs for design's sake, I think sometimes, again, if you don't try stuff, you'll never know if it works. And if you only keep things very simple, then that's all you're ever going to be able to offer people is simple. Which is fine, but you want to be able to do both if you can. So I'm going to do a little teardrop shape here, just to kind of give you something there. Right? And I think we'll just add a little bit of weight here. And we'll do it very easy. We'll just go down just a little. Same thing over here. And we'll connect it. Recently I got a message on Instagram from a fella in Korea. and he said he watches the videos out there in Korea. So shout out to that fella out there in Korea. It's amazing to hear that somebody's watching this stuff all the way out there. I had some people reach out to me from Brazil, say they watch the stuff in Brazil. I've had a fella from South Africa. I think it was South Africa. And periodically I'll get some messages from Australia, which is, again, blows my mind. So shout out to everybody, and shout out to everybody in the U.S. because I know y'all watch the stuff here too, and I really appreciate it. All right, so I'm thinking if I want to add more. I think it looks kind of cool as is. It'd be a great, I don't know, gas tank or maybe on a hood. So I'm gonna try to sign it. I've been trying to do my signature in kind of like spots where they're sort of incorporated, not just at the bottom. So I'm gonna try real hard to do it right there. It's a very tight spot, but we'll see. Luckily this brush, if you stay on the very tippy tip, you can do some pretty fine stuff. Right, and my signature always has this little swoop, which is actually, I do it to allow myself a way to make it even if it's offset. So there you have it, folks. I guess it took me roughly 20 minutes to do that. I will square it up so you can take a good look at what it looks like squared, right? So let me turn the camera. Oh, there's me. You can see me. The camera gives me some weird, it almost breaks up the color, but I don't know if it's actually going to do that once it's done. Sometimes once the camera processes it, it doesn't look like that. But right now it looks funny. All right, so there you go, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something there. Forgive me for not putting out so many videos this year. I've been busy trying to get back out there, trying to do shows, trying to do this podcast. I got the podcast with my buddy Jack Fleming, so shout out to Jack Fleming. You can look up his YouTube channel as well. We've been interviewing pinstripers from all over the U.S. Hopefully we'll get some people from outside of the U.S. as well. And, you know, it takes up a decent amount of time. Takes us clearly a little bit of time to organize ourselves. I am the one recording it here at the house. And then once we're done, we also usually come back to do the intro. And each thing takes about an hour, and then it takes me maybe 2 hours to I don't do a lot of edits, but you know, we edit a little bit, and I do a master, which makes the volume level correct, and then I have to upload it. Luckily, there's a thing called Buzzsprout that uploads it to like 4 different places at once. So everything takes up a little bit of time. I've been working, so been busy, but still going to try to make time to make videos for everybody because I know y'all appreciate it and I appreciate you guys. So hopefully that was enough time to take a look at that. And if you have any questions, let me know and I'll show you what I have on the other side. So I've been stretching my lettering legs some. All right, so I got this. See So you can see there's purple in the background and 2 different greens. This is custom culture. So working on my lettering, because that stuff's important, man. People really want you to put words on these panels. You know, it's like I'm actually a little shocked that my pinstriping sells just on its own, because anytime I go out to a show, you know, as soon as I offer to put somebody's car club or somebody's nickname on something, they'll buy it. But just the pinstriping by itself, you know, people think it's cool, but I feel like everybody wants customization, which is, you know, I'm learning that lettering is really, 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 really important. So picking it up slowly. All right, y'all, have a good day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.